you want to show the guys out there today? What was your main goal coming into this one?
Yeah, I think for me, just I can do it all, but really, just I'm a competitor. I'm out here to compete. I've been training since January, really since during the season, kind of thinking about moments like this. But that's the biggest thing. Like I'm versatile, and that I'm a guy that's going to compete. I'm a guy that's going to work. Because for a guy like me to get a shot, a guy like me to really capitalize on my opportunity, that's what I'm going to have to do.
You've proven you can play multiple positions, but NFL, are they looking at you at center, or is guard a possibility?
Yeah, I think most people are probably looking at me at center. But again, the guy like me, like I'm going to come in being able to play all three. I think the versatility is the greatest asset you can have, especially in the NFL when they only have a certain amount of guys on a roster. They don't have 20 offensive linemen in the room. They got like 7 or maybe 8, And I want to be one of those guys that can kind of fill in the cracks. So you need a guy that can play center, need a guy that can play guard. I can do it. And as your point, I have experience with both. So that's really what I want to do.
Have they brought that up to you that maybe that's something that's intriguing because you are a utility kind of guy?
Yeah, I think it just depends on certain people's opinions. Maybe some people only think of me as just, you're a center only guy. I think maybe some people might think we think you can do both. And then some people are like, we need you to be able to do both for us to really have serious interest and so on with you. So when a guy like me looking at that, it's like, well, I want to be able to play all 3 positions because that's the best thing for me. That's the fastest way for me to get to where I want to be, to seize the opportunity. So I just got to be ready to do it all.
So you often say a guy like me. What is a guy like you?
Yeah, I think a guy like me. I'm a person. I didn't get invited to the combine. I didn't get invited to any of the All-Star games. I'm a person that I really believe that I should be in that conversation for that stuff, but for whatever reasons, I haven't been. Right, and it's really out of my control. But that's why I say a guy like me. I think a guy like me is someone who really has a chip on their shoulder, a guy that understands that nothing's going to be given, everything must be earned. And that's just kind of how I view this process. And, even if it wasn't, even if not, where everyone's like, we want to draft you, we're really interested with you. I think it's the mindset that you must maintain, what you must have, especially from this transition from college to the NFL. It's already competitive enough coming from high school to playing at Clemson. But going from Clemson to playing the NFL, the margin for error gets smaller, the air gets thinner. And you got to be tough. And I think that's just the mindset that must have. It's the mindset I'm going to maintain regardless of what happens. But that's just kind of how I feel where I'm at.
Is that the hardest part, is that you have no control over?
Yeah, a little bit. I think there's just so much uncertainty with it all. And that's kind of like what's tough about training for pro days and kind of stuff like this is you've never done it before. Right, so it's really hard to train for something like this when you don't have any experience. It's different where we're playing a really big football game. You're not really that nervous because it's I've played football since I've been in first grade, as long as I can remember. This is what I do. But coming out stuff like this, I've never ran a race before. I've never done track. Right, it's like I've never lifted for rep. I don't do this stuff, and I think it's just the uncertainty of everything that kind of makes some of that nervous pressure. But again, I heard XT talking about it. You just go out there and you just do it. You can only rely on your training, how much you train, what you put in your thoughts throughout the whole process. That's what you can rely on because that's all you're really going to remember.
301, I think you weighed in at. Did you lean up a little bit for this?
Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm.
How much weight did you lose?
I probably lost maybe 6-7 pounds. I usually would always play around 310 area, give or take some, because I leaned up this past year from the season prior. Orange Bowl, I weighed 325. So I leaned up for that. But yeah, and this too. And I think teams understand that, I can come in, I can fluctuate my weight, I can get heavier if need be. But the name of the game for days like this is, can you move fast? Do you move well? So that's a priority.
Do you feel like you showed them you can move well?
Yeah, I think so. In some aspects, I think maybe, and I have no idea what any of my times were, but I think straightaway speed, that's never been a strong suit for me, running the 40. But I think I did well for moving lateral direction change. I think I felt pretty fluid during O-line drills and stuff like that. And I think that's what's most important for someone that plays my position is, can you do that stuff well? The other stuff is great if you're really fast, but it's kind of more of an extra credit, a bonus. But a guy like me, I got to be able to put my name on lateral quickness, how fluid are you moving in your stance, in and out, your pass protection, stuff like that, actual football, because that's how games are won, and that's how guys make teams.
So much of this process is put on guys that get the combine invite, that get those Senior Bowl invites, and the doors that opens. What's the hardest part for somebody in your position? How does Clemson help in opening some of those doors and starting those conversations with teams that you just wouldn't otherwise have, not being at a place like the combine?
Yeah, I think they just really, Clemson's really helped me by just empowering me to be better, right? Like, I've been here the whole time. Like, they've allowed me a place to train for free, a place to eat for free. You know, I still get my laundry done. I still have a locker. Like, they afford you all those opportunities so then you can shine and show out on this big day. And that's really, that's all I can really ask for. Like, I don't need someone necessarily like making calls. I have an agent. I'm really happy with him. He does all that stuff. I just really need a place where, you know, people I trust, a place I can train, a place I can go to work at. And Clemson's provided that for me, and you know they'll continue to provide that, and I'm very thankful for that.
What's the hardest part from here for you between now and the draft?
Honestly, I think this is the easiest part. And what I mean by that is it's just we're done with doing the pro day stuff. It's all football focused from now on. Obviously, the work's still going to be hard, and you're still going to be working physical work. It's still going to be hot outside, doing all that stuff. But I love doing that stuff, so that's not hard for me. I think this is the best part. Got all the pro day stuff out the way. Now we can kind of get down to business and what's really real, what people really care about. I'm sure around draft day that'll be a little bit more difficult. Again, the uncertainty of everything. Like, am I going to get drafted? If not, like, where am I going to go? But I think I can say for certain that I've proven enough to at least get an opportunity somewhere to go to a camp, get a legit shot. And I mean, that's really all I can ask for. Because in the day, whether you're a guy that's undrafted or if you get drafted in like the 5th round, you still got to make the team. So you go to camp, it's level playing ground. So as long as I get an opportunity, I can live with it.
You talk about not being a track guy. Did you really practice the 40 a lot, or just not really care too much about it?
No, I mean we definitely practice it. We just really you split it up. So it's like running the full 40. I never ran that full speed. That was the first time I ever ran the full 40, full speed. And we'd split it up. We'd run a lot of 10s because that's where it's probably most technical, most unnatural for a guy like me. Running 10s, and then you slowly kind of build up. You know, you run a 10 into a 20-yard sprint, and you just kind of split it up. But the guy I've been working with, Coach Love, Coach Hogan, they did a great job of kind of working that, because the biggest thing you don't want is those soft tissue injuries. Like too early, like if you're doing too much sprinting like that, and I don't normally run 40 yards that fast, you know, you're very susceptible to like hamstring tears and all that stuff. Just moves your training back even more.
Any other questions? Thank you, Will.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, guys.